My name is Jimmy Rios with Next Level Credit Plus. Today I have the joy of having my friend, my mentor, and my broker, Jayson Linford with eXp Realty, who's going to be joining us today to talk a little bit about the advantages of working with him and with his brokerage and give us some tips on what a good buyer's agent can do for you and how the relationship with Next Level is great to be able to help more people.
I've been in the Valley going on 6 years now, and I have a real estate team that we run, and it's been crazy the last little while. The real estate market's gotten really hot.
Yeah.
And it's interesting you mentioned buyer's agents. That's somebody who a buyer will use to help them through the transaction, through the contracts, the disclosures, and basically help them navigate in purchasing a home.
Right.
They're a lot of times one of the first contacts that a buyer will have in order to be able to start the home buying process.
Right.
And I think what happens a lot of times is buyers, because a buyer's agent is free. The seller, the listing agent or the sellers are the ones that pay all the commissions. So a buyer's agent really gets paid from the seller.
Sure.
And so a buyer's agent to a buyer, somebody looking on the market, is actually free. They don't pay anything for a buyer's agent. They don't realize the value of a buyer's agent because they're free to them. They don't cost them any money. So they think they can, get their brother down the street or their friend or person they know, and they don't really do any due diligence on the people they're hiring to help them through one of the most important transactions that they'll ever make.
Right.
And so it's really good to understand what a buyer's agent does and what differentiates them from some of the other people in the market.
You're working with a lot of players inside of the game of buying a home, right? So it's not just about getting anybody to represent you as a buyer's agent. You tell us a little bit about that.
It's interesting because you'll get some buyer's agents who will take you and they'll go start showing you houses, and getting things in the right order is really important. A lot of times, you get in trouble when you don't do that. One of the first things we'll do is we have somebody talk to a lender. That's the number one thing we do. And what happens is usually the number one thing that prevents them from getting pre-approved for a loan is credit.
Right.
That's not all the time, but that's probably 80% of the time. And if it doesn't stop them from getting a loan, sometimes it prevents them from getting the best interest rate that they can get on a loan.
Right.
And so we usually recommend starting to talk to a buyer early on in the process. We try to get to a buyer. If you're 90 days out, you're perfect, because what we do is we have you talk to a lender, they pull your credit, and then if you have something on your credit that can be repaired, that's when we start right away. Right. As much time as we can get before your purchase date to work on that credit is good for the buyer, because then they have that opportunity to get a better interest rate.
Right.
Interest rates are really low right now, and so you wouldn't want to miss that opportunity from not having the best credit you could have at the time when you're actually ready to purchase the house.
When Jayson calls me, he said, I have a client that needs help with your credit, with their credit. What I do is I put them in our incubator, and we put them through a series of steps to be able to get to that end goal, to get them where we can get through our teams at the different mortgage companies that we use, so we can work together as a team to get them that approval inside of a set time. We don't know, could be 30, 60, 90 days, but at least there's a goal that's made. We're all working together. What if somebody doesn't have all the money to be able to get into a home? How can you facilitate and help through some of your programs and differentiate yourself from maybe something that somebody else doesn't have?
Getting a good lender on our team is always the most important thing, because there's lending opportunities for people to get things like zero down and stuff like that, where it can help buyers get into a home without necessarily putting a lot up front.
Right.
But another thing that we do, and one of the things that I love talking about, is our charitable organization and our give back program that we have, especially for buyers. Right. There's a lot of those that exist for sellers, but what we do for buyers is we've actually arranged with several nonprofits. We have our own nonprofit that gives back to local schools, but we have another one through My Home Gives that actually partners with local charities. And so as buyers come in, what we do is we reduce our commission amount by about 1% of the purchase price.
Okay.
So, and then what we do is we ask the sellers in our buyer's name, we ask the sellers to donate that money.
Oh, wow.
The buyer can use that money. I mean, sometimes it's thousands of dollars. It's not a couple hundred. This is a good amount of money. It's thousands of dollars that can now go towards things like closing costs.
Right.
And those are title fees. Those are appraisals. Those are inspections. Those are all the things that cost money inside of a transaction. The buyer now can use that. So it's as good as money in their pocket because they don't have to take it back out
Right.
to pay for those things that they would normally have to pay for.
Somebody who's a first-time home buyer, and maybe we have to go through like an FHA program where there's a 3.5% that they have to come in with their own money, and we have to get creative in talking to the sellers to possibly help in those costs. We can do that. We can work with them and we can negotiate so that almost there can be clients that come in with literally zero money.
One of the other things besides credit that holds people back from even starting the home buying process, thinking they have to have all this money in the bank account to come in and put down. However, it's nice to have money to come in to put down, but you don't have to have it. And sometimes when you weigh the costs of not having the money but buying a home and then comparing it to renting, a lot of times it's better to get into a position where you're actually buying your home and putting equity into something and treating it like an investment, whereas with renting, you're not able to do that.
With Next Level Credit Plus, we feel that one of the best things we can do is to give back. And how we did that was we said, wait, if you have any credit challenges, there's a cost to that usually, right? And what we did was we are going to discount the fee by 50%. What that will do for you is it'll help you get your foot in the door. Now, the cost that you pay to get your credit enriched and get it where it needs to be will be refunded back to you upon close of escrow. So that means that we have a vested interest in getting you into that home, getting you approved, and that way it's an investment in yourself. You know you're going to be handled properly with a team of professionals that are going to do the job for you. And as a company, I think that's one of the best things we can do is give back in that regard, because a lot of people, they don't know what to do with their credit. They don't know how to get started, and we want to be that source. The best way to get information on my program is to do this. Text Jimmy to 36260. And what that'll do is you're going to get a link. You're going to download it on your phone. You're going to see my beautiful face, and you'll be able to tap on it, and you'll see all our programs. You'll see the houses. You'll see everything that we're doing is going to be on that link. Again, text Jimmy to 36260, or you can call me at that number direct, 480-341-2901.
The best place to go is myhomegives.com, and that is the best place to get a hold of us and to find out more about the program for especially our buyers program.
While times may be questionable, your credit doesn't have to be. Call Next Level Credit Plus today and start living your dreams. Trust us, it's really that simple.